Alright, so got a new phone. I was away on vacation for the past several days. Finally get around to something. I'm going to do the arc brazing rod at some point now that time-ish. But I'm going to try something I haven't tried before. Got some 308L rods. 1/8 inch. Without flux on them. I've welded with electrodes that had no flux or carbon steel coat hanger. I've never tried stainless. No flux. It should be interesting. I've never given this a run before. So, see how this goes. Get this positioned up here. It has like one of those fancy, it's not, I wouldn't say fancy. It has 4 cameras on it. For like different angles and stuff. I'm tripping over my stinger. No, that's not my stinger. That was the ground clamp from Dad's old welder that burned up. 1/8 inch diameter, 308L-16 was it? Fairly sure it was. L-dash. It's 15. 308L-15, not 16. You know what? This plexiglass is being a little tippy. That good? It's like it's a little fuzzy. There, that's clear enough. Alrighty then. Not grab my gloves, but that's okay. Give me in a second. Weld those on. Let's try to run these at about. I usually try 8-inch rods about 115 amps for starts, but I feel like these could go at. Oh, yes, let's see that go. I need my ground clamp on the table. It's been a little over a week since I welded. That's no excuse for me to forget my ground clamp now. I'm looking at some job options. Today, kind of the thing with pipe welding came up. So we're looking at that. I don't know if I need the fan for this or not. I'm sure I'll get smoke. But probably not as I would with flux. Because I'm not burning up the shielding cover on it. Alrighty, let's see what this thing does. It's DCEP. You got my stinger coming out of the positive port, so. My type of wire. Bro. Oh, something-ish. There we go. Long arcing it as usual. Got a long arc sucker. Weaving. Stainless weave, no flux. Weave. I feel like it's running a bit cold. Not in the sense that metal's cold. Grief. That's interesting. Still has a flux on it, nonetheless. Ish. Ew. This is gray oxide all over it. Not gray, it's more like black. Maybe this metal had a coating on it. That or stainless just doesn't do well with no flux. Oh dear. Where's my chipping? that is something else. It's just, it sure doesn't look like a stainless weld. I'll say that. Look at that. It's like burnt toast. Whoops. Bunch of charcoal. Squeezed it down with a toothpaste tube and it was solidified. It's just like, there's nothing to it. Big poop. If you've ever seen the impurities left over from an iron smelting furnace, like where they used to do ironwork back in the day, find the slag, it looks like slag. Let's see if I can clean this up. Ew. My distaste for stainless with flux is obvious. But there's the... That's not even the camera frame, was it? Was the previous shot in the camera frame? I can barely see. There. That's after being wire brushed up some. It doesn't look nice. I'm gonna switch the stinger around and see if that makes any difference here. I should try a 308L with flux on this metal to make sure it's not some sort of something weird. I doubt it really is, but what can be expected when you're not using a shield to your molten metal? Running DC in. I need to get a welder that can flip between AC and DC so I can properly test rods in all polarities, whether they're meant to be run in that or not. Whenever I test something, if I'm able to, I run it in all positions, even if it's not supposed to be run in those positions, clearly. But just for the heck of it, see how it runs. Like, you can see, get an example. So, without further ado, let's try this again. You know what, maybe I should turn my amperage up a little bit. Maybe. Oh! At least I wasn't looking, I didn't get arc flashed. That's good. Immediately turned to soot on the end of that. It touched. This does not bode well. Pause on the side. Carbon, I feel like bare-electric carbon doesn't get that red hot that fast. I might be wrong. I should rewatch some of the older videos. But, that's like, gets really heated up. I'm just going to run a stringer bead the whole length of this thing. I think I've gotten down the method of welding with no flux fairly well. as can be expected for an obsolete process. Close. Whoa. That sounded interesting. Hot. I'm just going to wire wheel this off once I'm done. The thing is, if I can get a decent looking bead out of something, then I think it's probably worth trying in other positions. I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference what position I do this in. It all looks the same. Is there any flux left in here? I used sandpaper afterwards, so like a light dusting. Maybe I should get something that I know 100% for sure is stainless, like that. There's something on the floor over there. Maybe this is just some weird galvanized stuff. It looks like stainless. It's not rusting, but what do I know? Bruh. It's like welding a coat hanger. Interesting. DCEN doesn't have quite as much of the pitting, but it's not a lot better. It's making those popping noises. Is that in frame? No. Gotta learn to look like that stuff there. Nice gray and scummy looking. I'm gonna flip this over and run a normal 308 flux on the back. Keep forgetting this can is the one that's not open yet. Two cans. Not the bird. Looks like stainless. Smells like stainless. Just kidding, I don't like stainless kind of smell. I'm going to pause this and go give this a dunk in the bathtub. If you wonder what that means, we have two old bathtubs sitting in front of our spring house that run for the drainage overflow. I'm going to quench this because it's not like I'm worried about its tensile strength. I'm not using it for anything. Alright, I'm back. I found out there was a bucket of rainwater right outside the garage, so that worked too. But, I think I ran it a little too hot to get a really good weave on that. It looks nice and shiny. But since I quenched it, it took away all that stainless color you would get to it. That's with Flux Run. Looks pretty good. See, it's kind of blobbed together. Can't really define where the weave is. But it popped all the flux off. Made a bunch of snapping noises. However, this is not any different. I'm just gonna grab the wire wheel and clean that up. Pause this. 5-6 minutes later, I'm having a big brain moment, realizing I've been turning the grinder the wrong way, trying to loosen the wheel. I don't even know how I do that. I know it doesn't make any sense that would even happen. Brain just somehow overthinks one of the simplest things. Could be uncalled for. Results? It's not hot. I can handle that. Make sure my phone is actually lined up. You know, if I don't know if pointing my phone like that would work or not. Okay, so take off my helmet so I can actually lean over my phone. You know what? I'm going to stand on this dumb purple stool so I can look down through my camera. I don't care if you know what I'm doing. So there's that. I'd have to wire brushing. Still not pretty at all without Flux. That there was DCEP with all the big holes in it. DCEN looks better comparably, but it's still not that great. I feel like this would look clear, but my plexiglass is slightly dirty. I just found this in the garage. I should either get a cleaner piece or clean this up some. Actually, I might just do both. It's interesting because it... Oh, let me see if I can flip this plexiglass around. Why do I have it on this? So I don't get my camera of my phone covered in stuff when I'm welding. You know what? That looks cleaner. Doesn't it? Yes, it does. This part. It has almost like a Rust-Oleum hammer finish if I were to liken it to anything. But it's obviously not a finish, it's just the way it welded. That looks nice. But, yeah, that there is a summary of what it's like to weld with stainless rods that have no flux on them. DCEP, I did 114, 15 amps. I feel like I turned it up a little bit for DCEN. Yeah, that was more like 117. But, all in all, that, wraps this up. Hopefully that doesn't look upside down or anything weird, but, yeah. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. I've got more stuff on the way here. Lots of stuff. More than my original initial welding rod tour. I should do an updated one at some point. The 6027s. I have coming in the mail. It's like Castellan 27 or something like that. It's some sort of cast iron welding rod that cuts through impurities and junk really good. I got it out of a random welding rod lot. Some guy had like a old shop stock full of unopened rods and stuff. So Let's kind of look through the photos of the stuff he was offering and choose that. I'll show you when it gets here. Should be here fairly soon. I feel like I ordered something else, but I don't know what it is. Chances are I actually didn't order anything. I'm just thinking I did. I'm going to kind of save some money here. Mostly because I transferred money over from checking to savings. But yeah, clean up my mess and that wraps it up.